hero. Boy. All right.
Okay. For the sake of the recording, we did have a few shenanigans before we started recording, but just a few questions about the project, which we'll go over the answers as we go through the night. So first of all, thanks everybody for coming. We're super excited. This is our first Kickstarter ever. We've been working a very long time to try to get this put together. You're going to hear from me tonight. You're going to hear from Sarah. We got my friend Roy Gonzalez on the call as well, is going to be sharing. So going to be sharing a lot of great information. And so pay attention to what each of us shares, because as they say, there is going to be a test at the end, because we do have some prizes to give away since we're big board game people. Of course, our prizes are all some sort of a game. So there'll be top 3 winners at the end based on how well you answer the questions. So without the what you there's gonna be a great yes, live from New Braunfels. It's Sunday night, which is why there's not a lot of people here, Jolie. Apparently I caught everybody at their bedtime. But yeah, I'm gonna turn it over to Roy. We're gonna look first. Sarah's gonna help me bring up the actual Kickstarter. So that way I can.
But first, we're gonna have Q&A sessions after we talk about each of the sections of the comic. So just to let you guys know that there's gonna be like specific time for questions. You of course can put in the chat box. We probably won't answer until it's time for the Q&A. Okay, so now go ahead and introduce your friend. Now you're allowed.
Well, I need to pull up the Kickstarter so I can guide him. So I can guide him and let's talk about.
Wait, first I'm gonna spotlight Roy because I want to make sure everybody looks at him. Oh, now it's all on you, Roy. Look at that.
Just hang on a second, Roy. I'm trying to get the Kickstarter up so I can have them look at something.
Okay.
Yeah, you can't minimize.
I'm just trying to get to your other thing there.
There we go.
There it is. Nobody else can see it but you.
Okay, the sharing of the screen is coming.
This one.
Yes, that one.
This one.
Okay.
Okay, here you may have the map.
So the Kickstarter is not live yet, but this is a look at cover A. We've already kind of gone over a little bit. So the basically this is going to be a collection of all the books that we've done up to this point. Because we haven't done Kickstarter yet, but we have self-published books in the past. We've self-published the book that me and Roy do, which is How to Hunt a Hero. We've actually gotten technically 2 issues of that. Just one of them got reprinted. We've gotten 2 issues of Malia Mayhem out. So 4 total books coming out of our company the last couple of years. So the first one we're going to talk about here is How to Hunt a Hero. And okay, now I'm going to turn it over to you, Roy, so you can just kind of give a little overview of the story and pay attention to Roy because he's going to be giving some information for the quiz.
And Roy is the artist of How to Hunt a Hero.
Yes, he's also the one who came up with the original idea. So fire away, Roy.
Okay, am I on screen?
Yeah.
Okay. Hey everybody, how's it going? I'm Roy Gonzalez. Like Joe was saying, I'm a co-creator and artist on the book How to Hunt a Hero. This book has been a long time coming. We started this way back in college when we first met. Actually, we started playing with this idea based on kind of an amalgamation of myself and Joe. And originally, the protagonist was the guy in this book, and it was called Average Joe. And then we tried a couple different iterations of this, web comics, even look at animation, and just a bunch of different avenues to put this out. But around COVID, actually, we started kind of relooking at this and kind of restructuring it and we kind of flipped it on its head and found that the story of the antagonist was actually a little more interesting and a little different as far as telling the story. So the antagonist became the protagonist in this. Her name is Avarice. We call her Ava for short. Avarice Greedy. She is basically what we describe as a evil Batman in a sense. She is very wealthy, mostly just from her father. He's a single dad, very busy, and he pretty much just kind of gives Ava free reign, gives her money just to keep herself busy and out of his hair. You know, kind of one of those kind of parents. And so she uses that money to actually start to travel the world, kind of like Batman did. But she actually trains under different like hunters and different skills through different people she meets along the way, and she ends up taking those abilities, those learned skills, and she turns her attention to hunting cryptids. A cryptid is basically creatures of legend like Bigfoot, the Loch Ness monster, the Yeti, Mothman, anything like that. I'm a big, just a big fan of that type of genre, and that just those interesting creatures. And I recently watched a movie just the other day that kind of inspired me to come up with this idea of like, well, why don't we make her the protagonist and she starts hunting these creatures? And in this world, these creatures, they're imbued with special powers. It's kind of what we kind of play with that, the lore a little bit. For instance, one of the first fights one of the first battles and creatures that she captures is actually Bigfoot. And from him, she's actually able to extract super strength, kind of as we know it as like a superhero would. So Bigfoot is super strength. She battles him and barely survives the fight. And actually, with these, she does go a couple of rounds with some of these. She kind of learns as she goes, barely surviving sometimes, improving her, using her money, her vast wealth to improve her these outfits that she makes, kind of a Batman / Iron Man type character. She just keeps building the suits better, making them faster, quicker, and adapts them to the creature she's fighting. And then after that, once she captures them, she's able to extract their powers. Eventually, she does end up, I guess it's kind of a rom-com a little bit. She ends up falling for a character who was the protagonist, who's now the antagonist, Joe. They're in college. She likes him, but he's already taken. He's already spoken for. He's dating a girl named Val, but she wants him, and she's one of those people that does not take no for an answer. So what she ends up doing is she knows a lot, like everything about Joe. It's almost scary how much she knows about it. She knows him better than he knows himself, and so she decides through his love of comic books and all the geek stuff that me and Joe love, she basically makes him our world's first superhero, at least in our comic book world. And she starts to imbue him with some of these powers little by little. And he almost gives him a superhero origin like we would normally see, like it's already been done over and over, but we're kind of giving this nice little spin on it and kind of showing you where it's actually coming from. And he has two best friends that help him out along the way. They're very much just like him. One's very pro superhero, let's do this. The other is very, hey, he's kind of the audience, like where he wants to keep it grounded. Like, shouldn't we call the cops in this situation? Shouldn't we do, very cautious. So you kind of get both the fantasy and you get the real world responses to some of the situations they find themselves in. So it's a great, like I said, a rom-com / action kind of book. And, we've just been having fun doing this. Joe's been very good about letting me just play with some of the panels as I lay them out. Gives me a story. We come up with the ideas. He's very good at directing kind of what we want to show. And then he lets me play with the pages a little bit. He's very flexible with that. So that's fun. So we get to have some really good action shots in here of some of these confrontations you'll see. And I get to have fun because, it's just something I'm interested in seeing, that I want to see as a fan, as an artist, and just seeing what I can do and make it interesting for the readers. It's a great book. Wondering if left anything out on that. There was that third question, Joe. I don't remember the other.
Uh, see here, I think, yeah, I think you're good.
Okay.
Yeah, you're good.
All right. Okay. I mean, that's pretty much in a nutshell. We're taking, like you said, we're taking a collection of the book, putting it together in this Kickstarter, and that way you get to see it. What we're hoping to do is, although I am the artist, I have a full-time job. I work 80 hours a week sometimes, so it's a little challenging sometimes to spend time on this labor of love. Really, this is just something that we wanted to do forever, so we're finally getting it out there. So we're hoping to use some of this Kickstarter contributions to possibly hire a colorist on some of this, because that's what takes me the longest. I'm more of a penciler inker. You know, I can do the pages and stuff, but I really would like to hire a colorist, professional colorist, to get this book to that next level that we want it to be at. I mean, I'm not bad. You can see the pages, but I would definitely like to hire a colorist. So we want to hopefully put some of that towards that. But yeah, I mean, that's pretty much the book in a nutshell. Are we opening this to Q&A?
Oh, yeah, definitely. So, does anyone have a question for Roy about How to Hunt Hero?
I'm assuming their questions will pop up on the bottom, but
I'll
Yeah.
read them to you. Yeah.
yes, definitely.
Ah, Matt, can you chupacabra?
Yeah, so I grew up in South. Actually, we were both from South Texas, more or less, me and Joe. But I grew up in South Texas. I've been all over the world through military, but I was an Army brat. But I did grow up for the most part in the Valley, and there are a lot of legends there, including the Chupacabra. There's the Lechuza. There's a bunch of Mexican lore that I'm going to try and put into this as well, as more of the well-known ones, like like I said, the Loch Ness Monster and the Yeti and all that, and the Mothman, anything like that. So we're going to get to have fun with that and just see these adventures. You're going to actually get to see her as she goes, as she grows as a hunter. And she doesn't kill them; she just captures them, and she actually holds them within her below her mansion. Actually, she studies them, she collects their powers, that kind of thing. Yeah, we might have some fun with like a jackal. That would be kind of fun just to see what they do. A matter of fact, we may have had a story about that in the past where we were playing with, well, what would she do? Who would she hunt?
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm also, Joe, I'm also a huge Halloween person. So, having fun with that too. I would love to do a Halloween story. And a matter of fact, one of our old stories was based in for Halloween and stuff. So it was pretty neat. We had Joe and all of them dressed up and stuff. And yeah, it's come a long way. But once we flipped it around and made her the protagonist, it really just kind of took off. It just clicked and everything fell into place. But yeah, definitely all those creatures that you can think of. I'm learning about more all the time. I even I probably won't do it, but I'm also into going into almost magical creatures and stuff like that. But this will be more cryptid based. So things you'll hear about, like the Jersey Devil, and like I said, like the Mothman, those kind of things, more well known like that. Yeah.
Okay. We would have sat here in eastern Wisconsin, it'd be here, Dave, or shall we hunt the hero? So, I don't know if I did the accent right. Probably didn't.
Probably not. Yeah.
Yeah, but there's nothing else about that one. Next up, we're going to have Sarah talk about the mascot of our company, who has a couple of issues of her own comic. Malia May.
Oh, no, there's a question on that. No, it'll be pretty much whatever kind of. We're looking at different cryptids from everywhere. So yeah, I'm studying different cultures and stuff like that as well to see what they have and how we can blend that in. So yeah, you might see little Easter eggs within her prison, I guess, her zoo, if you will. So yeah, so keep a sharp out for that, because I do like to sneak things in there. Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
Oh no, you're good. We did not see that one. All right. Okay, so Malia Mayhem. So she's been here since the beginning of our company. You can still scroll, babe. And she's originally based on moi, of course. But the character is actually a 9-year-old girl, so that would be not like me. But you can see like this is a picture of our old storefront, our first building. So she's always kind of been the mascot of our company, and we have always had like an origin story for her and plan to do something with her in the future. And we're kind of like just getting around to expanding on that now. This first part Joe is showing you is some of the original art from the preview comic. This was done by our last artist, Dave Beatty, and the letterist for this part is Al Sparrow. And we had made a change somewhere in the middle, so you're gonna see after this, you're gonna see our new art and our new letterer and whatnot. But we had this was, I'm gonna get all mixed up now. This was number 1.
Yeah,
Correct,
we just
yeah.
did a preview.
This
issue,
is, we did a preview issue of number 1. So the entire story of number 1 is not here yet, but this is the preview story of number 1. So this would be Malia's second adventure, actually, because there's a number 0, which we'll talk about in a little bit. The number 1, kind of the cool thing, let me start at the beginning. So Malia comes across a magical D20 at a Comic-Con that she goes to, and her Comic-Con, her self-created Comic-Con character is called Malia Mayhem. Her real first name is Malia, her real name is Malia Marinelli, but her character name is Malia Mayhem. So when she encounters the magical D20, she gets transported to what's called the Tabletopian realm. And this is basically the world that has all of the board games and card games in the world interconnected. They're all different worlds that you can go to within this Tabletopian realm. So she's instantly transported to the game master whenever she comes in contact with a magical T20 and finds out that the game master wants to make her the defender of the realm because there's this there's this terrible creature called Troll that is just wreaking havoc on all the different game worlds, and it's having a devastating effect on the people in the real world that are playing these games. So every issue that we have from Malia is gonna kind of have an homage to a different game. And we're trying to explore like different types of games to make it interesting, because Malia's powers for that role, for that world, I'm sorry, are based off of the D20. So, and based off of the world, both of those things. So basically the type of game it is and the type of world it is controls the abilities that her D20 gives her for that world. And she's limited by the abilities that she has in that world. So this number,
If we have the troll in the comment.
shocking. So in this number 1 issue, it's an homage to Catan, Settlers of Catan. So you're going to see resource management kind of things, and it makes it interesting because it's interesting to try to defeat a foe when you can't fight them. So we'll leave it at that. But we want to keep going to the other one a little bit here, dear. So here you can see our new art by Carla Diaz, who is our new artist, and our lettering is by
Mickey Clausen.
Thank you. I was going to forget the whole name. Mickey Clausen is our letterer for this. And you can see like this is we're really happy with this look for the character. We are kind of always trying to get to this kind of like looking like anime-ish kind of style. Right, is that a good way to describe it?
Jolie says we could play Operation by the rules of Monopoly and call it the American healthcare system. Oh my gosh, that's so bad. And the troll in the comments says adapt or die, losers. Games. Oh, now the troll wants to be nice. Games are meant to be broken in interesting ways, but then he says very nice, clean art. Yes, thank you. We're very happy with Carla's art. Go ahead.
Oh, well, I can talk now. So our this is actually our issue 0. So this is actually more covering the origin story of Amelia in this one. And then because we went back into the issue 0, it's kind of a we kind of like went back and was like, well, wait, we're like, wait, we could tell a different story that kind of explains more how they got started. You know, and still there's still a lot of secrets that are things we want to reveal later that, you know, it doesn't tell you, but about the character origins and whatnot. But this issue is an homage to Dungeons and Dragons, and the story they visit is, or I mean, not the story, the game they visit is called Quests and Quibblers, but it's an homage to Dungeons and Dragons. Let me borrow this mouse real quick here. Just want to make sure I covered everything I wanted to here.
Mhm.
Said that.
Yep.
I said all those things.
Pretty
Yeah.
sure you did.
Well, I mean, I kind of said it already, but so there's gonna be 2 stories of Malia Mayhem contained within this Child's Play 0. Then we'll have the complete number 0 and then the preview number 1.
Mhm. And it'll be in order. Here in Child's Play Comic 0, you're gonna read 0 first and then 1, so it'll make more sense.
Yeah.
Yes, the Star Trek episode, The Trouble with Quibbles instead of Tribbles.
Well, does anybody have any questions for about Malia Mayhem? We have for Malia Mayhem. Anything related to Malia Mayhem?
Yeah, I think almost everybody here got the 0 issue.
Yeah, probably.
How did he tame the dragon?
Oh, okay. Oh, because he's on top track.
That's for him to know and you to find out, man.
I think we can say that, you know, Troll, because Troll, well, Troll's goal is really to get candy.
Yeah.
But that is meant to be like in something against the heroes or the players in a game world is automatically on Troll's side.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, look at this force here. This is obviously trying to ruin everything. I want to be on there. So.
Oh, some good questions here. So,
Okay.
So Itzy can't wait to check out the next one. Thank you.
Oh, thanks.
Will she have any powers which she retains from game to game? No, because I would make her way too powerful.
Yeah. Sorry. Yeah. We decided to revamp something dramatically in the future. Our stance right
Yeah.
now is no.
Because it just makes it more interesting when she's in a world where she can't fight. So, and even in the worlds where she can fight, we got to see what's the fighting system like in that game.
Mhm.
You know,
What makes
will
sense
she
for
be
me.
9 years old in every game she enters, or will she age and looks very
Oh,
well?
that's a good question.
That she will be 9 for the foreseeable future, only because, you know, we wanted to keep her that young for as long as possible. Maybe not as long as Lisa Simpson, you know, not for 30 years, but but you know, it would be a pleasant problem if we got to the point where we're like, hey, we've already done 25 issues. Should we age her up a little bit?
Be like,
You know,
oh, she's now, guys.
Yeah.
1 year. Just so
Yeah.
you guys know. And we kind of like wanted to stay in this age range too, because I like the kind of the take on children in this age. Like she has a group of friends, they're all friends, there's not like weird dating things going on, you know. We get into like the preteens and the teens, we have to worry about weird dating things and triangles and whatnot, and you know, we would have to like revamp how we wanted to do that part of the story as a thing.
And well, he says, will she eventually get a sidekick? Well, like Sarah mentioned, she does have a group of friends that as she's playing the game, well, you can go ahead. I want to take your.
Oh, you don't want to take
my yes. I'm too used to telling stories.
Will she eventually get a sidekick? Okay, so yeah, she has her friends in the real world, of course. There are possibilities for her to have people join her in the future. Wink, 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 wink. I don't want to say any more than that. Wink, wink, wink. But since you asked, yeah, there are things in the works. Will Troll retain the powers from the other sections and games? Good question. Troll doesn't really get his powers from the game. Troll is just kind of like this mighty force that joins with everything that is possibly negative in a game. And his sole purpose is to find any and all candy in the game. Candy is his like driven motive.
And we actually came up with a reason for that too. It's not just a silly little quirk. We actually came up with a backstory for him on that, which will be told eventually. This part right here, he said
he's trapped in the game world until she captures the troll, right?
No,
not exactly. I mean, she's in the Tabletopian realm. There hasn't been anything to suggest she is trapped. But the game master has given her like a task of stopping a troll. And so like the first couple episodes, at least we'll say the first couple issues, she's still in the Tabletopian realm, kind of chasing troll. And she doesn't, I mean, she hasn't captured him, and the game master hasn't said she needs to capture him, but rather that she just needs to like get him to flee and stop the destruction of the world that she's tasked with stopping him in at the time.
Yeah. Joelle's comment. So this is because Joelle says, because I would love to see her picking up some lovable character and have to at the end have to leave, and the questions would be, will the sidekick come into the real world? Yeah, that would be interesting. Hopefully have a better leader. They'll be in heaven if he ever finds Candyland. We will address that sometime. We will address it.
Thought about.
That's actually the question of addressing that is what helped develop his backstory. So Troll is the Biff Tannen character of the game. Yeah, basically.
That's pretty great. Yeah. Okay, I think we did a lot of good questions and answers for that one. And next we're gonna move.
Can't wait until she reaches metal ship. Yeah, we may have to go the G.I. Joe route on that one, Joelle, and do blue and red lasers, no actual weapons.
Oh yeah, because it's ready.
Yeah.
All pages or E for everyone. I'm getting confused.
So the final one we have here that we're going to go over is a book that we're actually partnering with our friends over at Dinosaur Entertainment, and the book is called Team Strike, and it's actually by our friend Jesse Sosa, who is one of the owners of Dinosaur, and he and Roy have actually been friends since high school. So Roy, I'm going to go over Team Strike the best I can, but feel free to chime in at any point, because obviously you were living this way before I got involved in this. But Dinosaur Entertainment is mainly known for video games, but Jesse really wanted to get in on doing comics with us, and so to have all three of us on this is a dream come true, and it's really cool to be working with your best friends to put something out like this. So Team Strike is a story that they've been working on since high school, and I got to learn about it when I met them both in college. So Team Strike takes place, a lot of this is pulling from their real world experiences. So they grew up in a little South Texas town called Rio Hondo. And so that's where Team Strike is going to take place in the actual story. And all the characters that you see are friends that they either went to high school with or met later, like me. You can see me here. So you can see Roy and Norma there. So everybody has a character that represents them. The story takes place kind of in the late 90s, so that way we can kind of play around with that era a little bit, because that's when we all
yeah, real quick to answer Joel's question. Yes, Figarelli was my trumpet instructor. He
there's a lot, yeah, there's definitely some connections there.
Yeah, we were under Robert Garza, and then Figarelli was our trumpet instructor. Yes, good catch.
Yeah, yeah, I missed. It's funny because we were kind of experiencing the same things we realized in high school, just in different places. So it was easy, I'm sure, for y'all to just combine the stories and add people like me in and some of your other friends that you met later in life. Um, so so Jesse's character is actually the narrator of the story, and he, you know, as he finds the way he sets it up here, the image you see here of Jesse's character powering up, it's one of those where like the story starts much later when things have already started to kind of fall apart, and he's kind of going back and telling the story and seeing, you know, what got us to this point basically. So you're gonna see, this is gonna be a 10-page preview. You're gonna see just real early teases. They're fully colored and fully lettered and everything, and it just kind of shows you the beginnings of like when Jesse first starts telling the story, when he first starts discovering his powers. And um one of the things that makes this different from most like teen superhero stories is that the the relationship of all these characters as they grow and they learn and they find that each other has powers. There's a lot of aspects to it. One, of course, is the mystery of why are they getting powers, who's giving it to them, like what, you know, what do they do. And then that was the aspect that I know we talked about a lot, is like, okay, in most superhero stories with teenagers, they always start with, okay, well, how does this affect the teenagers when they're going to school and they're trying to have their, you know, their lives, and then they go on this big grand adventure. And normally by that point in the story, whether it be a movie or the comics, they've kind of forgotten about the high school aspect and the just surviving day to day. So with this, we kind of always wanted to pull it back. It does have the grand spectacle, as you can see up here, you know, we do get to that point, but we do stay kind of in that relationship part of it a lot longer. Or when they do go out on a big mission or something, they always got to come back, and regardless of what happened, if their lives, you know, came close to ending or whatever, the next day they're like, well, we got to go back to class. Like, how do you deal with that? How do you keep going through high school, you know, when literally every day your life is in danger and you got to just come back, and then you still want to be a kid, you still want to hang out with your friends, you want to do all the things that you want to grow up doing, like any generation does. You know, all that really changes is the situation, but every generation has that, you know, where they want to grow up with their friends and they want to experience and have those memories. So that was
Right.
the fun
Um,
of it.
there, so they also the great thing about this is, I mean, they deal with what this book deals with also is just the things that typical teenagers deal with, and some of that does carry over into the adventures, into the teens, into the dynamic of the team as they grow and as they, you know, learn their powers and how to use teamwork, despite those, you know, challenges, you know, taking on a, you know, a big villain or something like that, and then having to kind of come back and kind of deal, kind of like what Sarah was saying, they didn't want to do with Millie Mayhem. We're kind of doing that with this, where you see like these dating triangles, and but it's important to the story, and a lot of it is based on the relationships we had with each other growing up. So we want to try and tackle all of that teen stuff too, just the teen angst, the troubles, you know, you go through, how everything is so serious when you're a teenager, you know, but we want to handle it with kind of that comic book, you know, vibe, but also, you know, it's really neat to pull that from real life experience into the book and make it interesting and fun, because then we get to also go off and, you know, fly and shoot lasers and stuff like that. So yeah.
Yeah, so we're very fortunate to have this preview in here. This will be the first new material here, so this will be the fifth story that is part of this collection. And then Jesse plans to take it off into its own book eventually, which we'll all continue to work on together. But you know, we were very fortunate to have it as part of this collection. So
Yeah, and the artist he has on that book is amazing. The artwork is perfect for the genre, and it just, I think it adds a lot more to the story, you know, than even we originally anticipated. So yeah, it's a fun book. It's a serious book. It's you might even see a little bit of yourself, maybe situations that you went through, kind of take you back to those days. But yeah, great artwork though. I want to highlight that.
Oh yeah, the artist is Fran Arias, and Jesse's actually doing the coloring over his art. So it's been a really good collaboration. So we're seeing some comments over here. So yes, of course we have both Joelle and Ken who do their respective comics. Like Joelle was saying with his comic, Madi and Nico, they have their adventures and then they return to the mailroom. And then Ken's Mighty Energy Girl, she had to return to school as a teacher. So it's those type of situations that I know makes their characters interesting as well, because you got to see how they deal with that. You're gonna make me say the word for milsitude. I can't even say it. Like we have to deal with it.
Studio, everyone,
it's
it's a
missing.
chat box.
Are you sure in the recording too? That is missing in mainstream comics as it is. So anyway, I think we've covered all the parts of the book. So should I move on to the covers or Q&A
I
real
think
quick?
that we-
Q&As real quick.
Oh, we need to do a Q&A real quick. Yeah, so let's do a Q&A for Teen Strike real quick. Well, anybody has a question about Teen Strike, and then after that we'll do the Kahoot, and then we can
Oh.
come back and you can do the tiers and the covers.
Okay, gotcha.
Mhm. I have to keep them on track.
Yeah. That's why you're here.
I'm also the editor. I'm basically
Yes.
the editor. Like
Yeah.
I mean, obviously we work on the story for Malia together. But
It's late 90s, and then I think it goes into a little bit of the early 2000s, he said. But they kind of play with the technology a little bit, just because of the story elements that I won't talk about.
I won't talk-
Any other questions? Oh, put some feeling into it, kid. I couldn't say it. It had nothing to do with feeling. Multitude or multitude. That's right. I have a teacher right here. She can teach me. All right. Okay, we'll go ahead and we're going to do Kahoot, you said?
Yeah, here.
Okay.
Give me the control here.
Okay, so if everybody was paying attention, it's time for the quiz. Teacher's giving the quiz.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. I feel like Joel's taking notes. He says I'm
He said well, he told us he was taking notes earlier.
well, people that would come to our parties before are now experienced. Like, wait a second. This is a trick. All right, I'm gonna get this going here. Do some classic. And then I'm gonna drop it in the chat box as soon as it gives me a thing to drop in there. There we go. I also experimented with the music, so the music's really fancy this time.
Ken says I saw Jolie writing on his wrist cuffs.
All right, everybody, the link is there, so now you can see that, and I'm going to change my share up a little bit so you guys can. Oh my goodness, this is amazing! It's like an Einstein bear or something. Now, you guys can see. Oh,
No, she
turned into a unicorn.
It's still the unicorn's still getting.
Real, pretty much.
Yeah, I wonder who that is.
The ice cream on the head is amazing.
Yeah. Looking.
Some people are gonna have to tell us their names if they win.
Yeah.
Not sure we're gonna know who all this is. How many people do we have in this meeting? Caitlin Rumble, we know who that one is. Rumble. Yeah. Maybe. That sounded like it. Okay. I mean, we only have, what is it? We have Caveman Rumble, who's clearly there, Ken, Joelle, and Matt. I don't think Roy is playing because that would be cheating. So, but he's watching.
No, there's Matt.
Yeah, that's definitely Matt.
Okay, so the love could must be clean.
Okay. All right, looks like we're ready to go then. Your chances of winning are exceptionally high today, first, second, or third. So we will only have 2 losers. I'll make sure I don't say their name. Protect their identity. I'll read out the questions too, just in case you're on a device where you can't like see them at the same time as picking the answer. It can be a little tricky because you have to be on your own screen to click the answer. So I'll do that in case it helps you. Oh, launch party. I also put pictures on here though. There's, oh, Jessica. I think she's still in here, but I got kicked out of the thing. What is Ava? Red, Ava Maria. Blue, Avarice. Yellow, Avant-Garde. Green, Avatar. Yeah, if you can like see both screens, great, because I like took the time to look.
Answer is blue, Everest.
Avarice. I said it wrong, didn't I? I
Yes.
said avarice. Avarice.
Okay. Click next one.
Yes, when I feel like it.
Oh, trolls
trolls.
causing trouble
Troll must have
already.
been taking notes. What game is Quests and Quibblers a tribute to? Red, Caveman Rumble. Blue, Surviving the Game. Yellow, Dungeons and Dragons. Green, Epic Spell Wars. Oh, poor Jessica. You said her phone doesn't want her to play and be in Zoom.
Well,
I know. The phone zooming is not very successful.
the answer to that one was.
Well, you should be able to join it again if you go back to the link. Even though you'll be at a slight disadvantage.
Caveman Rumble thought that was fun.
Yes, we'll give you a little shout out there. We did have a couple people get the correct answer. Poor Joelle got kicked out though. You should be able to rejoin Joelle. You'll probably just have to put a different name and then try to surpass others. What real life Texas town is the setting of Teen Strike? Red, Rio Hondo. Blue, Lozano. Yellow, Harlingen or Harlingen.
Yeah, you said it right.
Is that right? Green, Brownsville. Joe should be reading this one.
Gonna fire here.
Ah, we had 2 people that got Rio Hondo. Very good. Wow.
No, the Duke
Roll
of
on
Pre-
fire up there.
the Duke of Fremont made a comeback.
Oh, very nice. Very nice. Which cryptid did Ava fight first? Ah, so it's red Loch Ness Monster, blue Yeti, yellow Bigfoot, or green Mothman.
The trolling my answers.
That sounds about right. Sounds about right.
Bigfoot is
2
the
people
answer.
got Bigfoot. Good job. Where does Malia find the magical D20? Red, a comic book shop. Blue, a Comic-Con. Yellow, Goodwill. Or green, a game store.
Matt's threatening to eat other guests. Comic-Con.
Yep, everybody got that one. Troll still trolling everybody in first there. Still, it's a close game. Which character is telling the story in Teen Strike? Is it red, Roy, blue, Dave, yellow, Jesse, or green, Joe? Like my pictures do.
Mhm.
I don't think you got to see. All right, 2 people got Jetsy right. Very nice.
I knocked over my inkwell. Never bring an inkwell to a Zoom party.
All right. Oh, Duke of Fremont has a streak, it says. Who does Ava give powers to? Red Jerry, blue Pete, yellow Val, or green Joe? Yes, Joe. Joe is the correct answer. Woohoo! Oh yeah, so Sir our first and second there. Still leading. Who is Malia's arch nemesis? We have red goblet, blue Martian, yellow gelatinous cube, or green troll.
Oh, you do that on purpose?
No, not. I wasn't thinking about it. Yes, there we go.
Picture perfect goblin.
Oh my gosh. Woo.
Few more questions.
What other company is Child's Play partnering with to create Teen Strike? Is it red Sabertooth Entertainment, blue Caveman Entertainment, yellow Dinosaur Entertainment, or green Mammoth Entertainment? Yay! 2 people got Dinosaur Entertainment.
Oh, Duke of Primo still on a streak.
Mm-hmm.
Last question.
Yeah, last one. How many different stories are featured in Child's Play number 0? 3, 4, 5, or 6? Oh, nobody got it.
It's
We
actually,
confused them so
yeah. We thought this was gonna be the one to decide, but it's actually 5 because it's 2 How to Hunt a Hero stories, 2 Malia Mayhem stories, and
one Teen
one
Strike.
Teen Strike story. We needed a, yeah, well, we needed a tough one in there because some of those other ones, especially the picture Sarah chose on some of those, I'm like, if you're paying attention.
Yeah, but I didn't put the answers in the pictures on purpose. I mean, you had to remember the character name.
Uh-huh. Yeah, Matt, there's 2 of them in there. There's a 0 issue and a preview to number 1.
Mhm.
So
Let's see. So our first place is Troll.
Troll.
That's Matt.
Second
As we
place
all
is
know.
Wiley.
Third place is Jen and Itzy.
Okay,
Which we're using control, but
so do you want to ask them live?
yeah, we can. We're gonna go ahead and here. Let's stop the share real quick. And let's see, guys. So just tell us for first choice will be to Matt, then, and then we'll give second choice to Joelle, and then Itzy will be what's that?
Right, Matt, we have Munchkin Axe Cop. We have Beasts.
Kind of like what is it?
Werewolf.
Werewolf, yeah, kind of like werewolf, but has a cards component as well.
And then this one's just simply called Rumble. Isn't it kind of like Uno?
It's kind of like Uno, but it has a
Yeah.
twist.
Yeah. So Matt, which one would you like first? Waiting for Matt. Maybe let one of the
First place choice can go to second place person, maybe let one of the people.
Okay,
So so let Joelle pick first.
Sure.
Is what he's saying.
I guess so. Joelle, which of these three would you like? Keep going that way. Good choice. You'll enjoy the humor in that one. Okay, then I guess Matt's saying.
I'm confused. My prize, oh, Matt's giving away his prize is what he's saying. Okay. But I'm not as confused anymore. Somebody is
Okay.
trying to join. Give me 1 second. I need to go back and look at the standings again. Is it gonna tell us now who had
No, because Jessica couldn't get in, remember? And then Joelle was the extra profile because you had to create the Duke of Primo.
okay, so we basically didn't have anybody else,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, it would be Jessica. Because Ken, you were, or
Like it literally doesn't even tell me who came
Yeah.
fourth and fifth anymore.
it's okay. Matt, we're gonna just have to give it because they can't figure this out. Can you go back to the chat?
Yeah, there's no way to figure out who came in fourth or fifth at this point, Matt.
Where are we at?
Mouse response key unresponsive, sir.
Oh, okay, that's having an issue. So then we'll just do Jan and Itzy next.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. Jan and Itzy, would you like Rumble or Werebeasts?
I can do a wheel for the last one.
Okay, it's already 10 o'clock. It's meant to be. Yeah, okay. They want Rumble.
Oh, that makes sense.
All right, this is act up. And Matt is giving up his prize to who did he threaten to eat? Was it Ken?
Oh, yeah, I don't know who. I don't know who. Matt, who did you threaten to eat? Who gets the prize?
Yeah, was
You
it
get to
Ken?
choose. Ken, okay. Yeah, it was Ken.
All right,
Okay,
Ken,
Ken
you
gets
get
Werebeast.
Werebeast.
Delicious.
All right.
The last thing, we're just a couple minutes over, but the last thing that we wanted to do is go over the tiers, launch it, share the link for them.
Yep.
Okay,
Right, so
we need to share a screen. No, they can't see anything here.
Okay.
Give it to
You
your
do.
wife. Give the controls to your wife. There we go.
So let me just go over this real quick and then we'll do the official launch. So the covers we have, of course, we've seen cover A. It's by our Malia Mayhem artist, Carla Diaz. So that one's only $8 if you want a physical. We do have digital as well. It's gonna come with this cover. And that one's only $5. Cover B is by Fish Lee. He did this cool split cover here. This one, of course, will be the same interior, but you'll get this cover instead. That one is 10. This cover is by artist Ben Bender. He's out of Austin. Has very, Calvin and Hobbes style to him, and so we got him to do Malia in that style. Are you looking at a chat? Oh yeah,
awesome.
Yeah, Joelle knows fish. He is an awesome guy. And then this last one is actually by superstar artist Eddie Nunez. He does a lot of work for DC. And so we were super fortunate to get him. Roy, that's all Roy. Roy did the communication on that one. So thank you, Roy, because he did an awesome cover here of Ava looking very buff and ready to hunt. So Eddie's is 12. So we have all the different tiers laid out here. If there's any retailers out there, we do have a retailer's pack. We did create a tier that has all the covers plus swag. And you do save a little bit of money by buying all of it. And the swag is Child's Play sticker, a reprint of the Malia versus Troll card that we gave out with Malia Mayhem Zero. A brand new card that we have for this called the Wraith Battle Suit, which is Ava's newest suit that she has when our story begins. So this card has not been offered before. And then this is a reprint too of the bookmark that we created to take to the cons this year. And it's got the alternate image on it of Ava's face exposed, where the issue had it covered. And then I created a new bookmark using Carla's art for Malia Mayhem. So a little bit of mixture of old and new in the swag. And the add-ons are pretty simple. Basically, if for whatever reason you don't want all of that stuff, you can pick and choose your covers. Like you pick the main cover you want, and then when you go to check out, it'll allow you to add them on. Of course, we have our creative team here, you know, me and Sarah, you know, my friends Roy and Jesse. That's Carla, that's Mickey who does the lettering, that's Dave and Al who did the preview issue for Malia, Eddie who did the variant cover, and Ben has links to all their sites, you know, because we're all about cross promoting, so you can check out some of their other work. You know, we basically are coming to Kickstarter because there's a huge Kickstarter comic community out here, and we really want to, you know, get in with them. And you know, there's been a lot of creators that I've met because of this community. So you know, when these ship out, you know, they'll come packed in these Gemini mailers, so they'll be nice and protected. Once you pledge, you know, at the end of the campaign, you will get an email that basically has you fill out a survey. That's where you will put in your mailing address, so make sure that that's correct, and whatever email you have, that it's going straight to your inbox and not getting kicked to like a spam folder. The book is 100% complete. I mean, it's just a matter of printing it. And so without further ado, let's see if I can launch this live while you guys are here with us.
It's our first Kickstarter, so it's gonna be
Yeah, this is a learning for everybody.
experiment.
Yeah, just a little extra. We are printing these books through Comics Wellspring. They've been very, very good about producing exactly what we want, and just meeting all our expectations, exceeding them really. And then also, just if we've had any kind of issues with them, they've been really good about customer service and getting those fixed. So this will be a great book collection, amazing collection.
Oh.
Now we only need $300 in 30 days. So we just have to make $10 a day.
Yeah. Yeah, and of course, if you have any questions, if you've never used Kickstarter before, you know, you can always shoot us a message. So let's see. So let's agree to all the terms. We have 30 days. Yeah. It's gonna finish. Oh, it's actually gonna finish on the 30th on Halloween.
Okay.
That's good.
Oh, so we'll have to get people to order before Halloween, because nobody's gonna do it on Halloween. Well, at least not at the end of Halloween.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, cool. Let's do this thing.
Drum roll. It says drum roll.
It does say drum roll.
Launch project.
Yeah, congratulations, everyone.
That's really cool.
So let's see. Yeah, let's share the link in the chat if anybody wants to pledge before you go.
We highly recommend that you either back the project or remind yourself to back the project. These are the choices. We recommend that you click something.
Yeah. Yeah, let's see who's the muzzle top. Yeah, so I'm gonna now spend the next hour posting in every group that I know.
Oh my gosh. The last thing I'm gonna share is our link to Child's Play.
I think everybody here is already.
You think
liked
everybody
it,
here?
yeah.
Yeah, you're right. We know everybody here. We don't need to send that. Y'all are already our fans.
Yes, Houston, we have. All right, well, thank you guys for coming and joining us tonight. We'll be posting this later for people who missed it. And let's see how fast we can hit this goal. Share.
Yes, please. We would love it if you would share all of the things you like to share. Just the Kickstarter page is fine.
All right.
Yeah, friends.
I guess Yeah, friend.
Friends.
We got one chat before we go. Be sure to send me half-page ask next one. Okay, nice. Yeah, we'll talk about that, Julie.
All right.
Right. We can-
Can we? No.
Yeah.
Got it, buddy.
Oh, yeah, we have pledges already. Thank you. Thank you.
I'll ask for 12 more.
I don't know. We'll hang on and we'll see what you're talking about, Matt.
Yeah, let's say bye to everybody else and
Okay.
stop our
Bye.
recording. The recording is still going. Please bear with me. Oh, here we go. Ready? Goodbye, everyone.